Howdy, welcome back to Airgun Shooter. This time we're going to start working on the walker so I can camouflage it and everything to use it to get out there and hunt again out in the fields. And here we have a company named Allen made this Realtree camo duct tape. It's like Mossy Oak, something or other. They got a couple different kinds of Mossy Oak now. Here we're cutting it in sections to fit around the legs, and I'm pointing at the part I cut out of the tape that looks like the trunk of the tree, the bark and everything, so it's oriented properly instead of sideways. And trying to work the seams together with pieces of branch or whatever, so it's lined up the right way, and then cutting around where the cross braces fit in and everything, so it all fits nice and smooth. Again, here a welded brace, so I have to cut around it to make it fit and smooth it out, of course. And what it looks like so far. Here we are, starting under that bushing that rotates to get the scrub like you see on the woodland floor. And then another piece of the bark of the looks to look like the trunk of the tree, and then we come back up to fit around the front cross brace here, cutting and fitting as we go, a section at a time, and orienting it as well as we can so it looks up and down as much as possible. And here we are working our way up to the upper part of the front cross brace. Takes some doing to fit around that curve there too. You have to split the tape in some places to fit around these curves, especially where it's welded. And an overview of the front. And here we are fitting around those things you push on to lay it flat. So certain parts have to rotate. Here I am cutting the tape around where it fits that upper curve, and then where it fits that push pin. Got to cut everything to fit around all that stuff. And finished one side of the front cross brace. Overview of when the cross brace is done. Looking pretty decent. And standing up, looking at it from the way you would if you're standing behind it. And starting to tape up the side braces. Here we're taping up around the handle. Cutting around screws and joints and bushings and stuff like that. And another overview. Blends in already, doesn't it? And another angle. I like to take it outside against the bushes and trees and stuff and see what it looks like from a distance. And here we are starting on the front of the rear legs that the critter will see. I should have cut this in two pieces where it fits over where that cross brace comes in. And working my way up around the various side braces to cut and split and fit and everything. On those curves, you definitely got to split it in a couple of places to make it lay flat over the curve. And again, cutting around screws as I go down the back legs, but looking at the back of the back legs. So it's covered from both sides to cover the shiny aluminum in that funny looking metallic toolbox color. And slowly working our way down the legs, and again cutting around screws and all that stuff. Another view of that same area I was working on. Just slowly cutting and fitting and splitting, and it takes a couple hours to do it. Here I am again trying to get the bark to pictorially look like it makes sense. And here we are at the bottom towards the bottom of the other side, rear of the leg, and working my way up from between the bark and scrub and branches and all that. And the lower part of the leg where you get down to where the wheels are going to be. I got to get wheels for the back. But here's an overview of what I got done up to this point. Not nearly as shiny and obvious looking, so it'll blend in better. And here is where I start taping up the back of the left side leg. And there's the side brace. And in natural light, so you kind of get a difference of how it looks. And I left the stickers that tell the model numbers and all that showing. Might need that later. And the finished leg, front leg on the left side. And leaving the adjuster holes open. Just put some little bits of tape up around both sides. And left that flared bit of tubing uncovered so that the tape would stick better. Overall quickie view there. And the view from having a thing standing upright from what I would see using it. And the right side, starting to get everything all taped up on the back and across the back of the cross brace here, so that's more finished looking, and no matter which way the critters see it from, they'll see camouflage where it'll hopefully blend into the background a little more. That's what this mossy oak is for, to make whatever you put it on blend into the background.
Okay, well,
that's
there
how
you have it for
you cloak yourself, so to say.
part one of modifying my walker to use it to. I can walk farther with that thing than I can with a cane because I got something I can put my weight on to take the weight off my back and my right hip, that joint that hasn't been replaced yet, that's now getting worse. I can walk farther with that, so the camouflage is done. I have to put wheels on the back because those little skid plates that go on the rubber things like you have at the bottom of a cane wore through and fell off. And rather than using those little sled rail things that you use for the back ones, I'm just going to put wheels on the back as well so it rolls easier. Maybe even try lawnmower wheels if I could find the right diameter. Wider, you know, so I get a wider track. And I want to find a netting bag, you know, those netting things you put across the back of a pickup or sport compacts and stuff have to put across, that are hatchbacks that is, that you can put across the trunk about that far from the back to hold your grocery bags up and whatnot. I used to have one in that blue 93 Probe of mine. If I could find that sort of thing where I could make it into a netting bag, or just find a netting bag that's like about, say, that thick, that wide, and 2 or 3 feet long, to strap between the handle things and behind the front cross member of that walker. I could put small game in there as a hunter. Just pick them up, toss them in the bag, and the insects like ticks and chiggers and fleas and stuff, once they find the animals dead, they'll fall off onto the ground instead of on me or in my pouch and get in the trunk of my car or the back of the pickup, whatever, you know. Thought that was a good idea. Got that idea from the guys that wear those straps, the hooks on it. It almost looks like a cat of nine tails you put on your belt loop. They stick it through between the rear leg bones to hang them from that. I thought, well, just have a bag to toss it in. That's even better yet, because then it's not touching me. And you can hang a netting over that thing thanks to the guys on Facebook Airgun pages. That was a good idea. Took me a while to figure out what you were talking about. Oh yeah, hang a netting over the front of that thing, and now I have a portable hide. Excellent idea, folks. Thank you. And I got to get the plastic tubes you put in your golf bag that each individual golf club handle goes into to protect them. I'm going to cut one of them to length and see if I can find some green wire wrap bundling things to tie it to the front of the side leg things but you can only strap it to the part that turns, because you have to press that red button on the metal strap, hold it down, hold that pin down to fold the legs flat to get it in your trunk. So you can only put the wire ties on the part that rotates. The non-rotating part would bind it up and it wouldn't work, so you can't do that. And the reason for that is to get the trigger, be able to carry my trigger stick in that tube, which I will cover again with camouflage tape. I only used about half a roll, or around 10 feet total, to cover the whole walker, sides, front, back, so that no matter what angle the critter sees you from, he's not going to see a lot of toolbox metallic gray, or very little of any aluminum. So that's it for this week. This first installment. The next installments we'll get around to putting the wheels on and getting that netting bag and getting a golf club tube and some green bundling ties to mount that on there. I'll show you how you do that to hold your trigger stick in. That would just be really handy. And the piece of camouflage material you put over the front to make your hide, just roll that up and toss it in the game bag, which is hanging behind the front cross member. So stay tuned. I'm trying to come up with ideas for people that are partly disabled or just disabled to whatever degree, can have some simple cheap rig you can modify easily and cheaply to get out there and hunt and fish again. So, good Lord willing, the creeks don't rise. We'll see you again.